and EVA invite our college and having overseas study dialogue with our current graduates, alumni. So this number 5 series talk, we invite Nga Ho, our alumni, and also our new teaching college, Professor um, Michael Wrighton. So let them to introduce themselves. Okay.
I
Now,
should. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm Taho, and I was graduated from AVA in 2013. And after my graduation, I was working in Hong Kong Visual Arts Center. And I think that I wonder, should I try to go to another country to have some different experience other than staying in Hong Kong and continue working without any purpose. So I am actually working in ceramics. So I found that I should go to different places. So after in this presentation, I will talk about the reason why I studying in Kyoto. So first of all, my university is in Kyoto. In here, it's called Kyoto Zokei University. And so first of all, I think you find it studying abroad. I think it's important to find a city you like. So why Kyoto? Because it has a long history, and also it's a capital of Japan, Asian capital. So it's at a center of craft and traditional Japanese aesthetics. So the craft and architecture there is, I think, is really good, and I love the space inside, and also the traditional old house renewable. There's a lot of traditional old house that renew into, say, coffee shop or say hotel, and it is quite interesting how the space which turn where traditional meets contemporary, and also the city environment. I like that. Compare with Osaka and Tokyo, because Osaka and Tokyo is quite similar to Hong Kong, and there is a lot of people where compared with Kyoto. Kyoto is um, kind of a slow life, and the people there is not so many people. So I think it would be a really good place for me, or and Kyoto, this city, can give something to me. So, by this reason, I choose Kyoto. Yeah, I think Kyoto, after 4 years stay in Kyoto, I think it is a city full of beautiful things with the illusion of Asian building. Yeah, and it's actually very well developed in tourism, but it seems losing its real self. I really hope that it's not true, but my opinion is solid. Okay, but why this university? Because it's a long story. When I went to Setouchi Arts Festival, I saw an art magazine called Visual Spectral, and that magazine was like this. So in this magazine, I read about it, and I read the interview about Nawakohe, the contemporary sculptor. And I know him is teaching in Kyoto, and I also like his work very much. And also Kyoto is a city I like after several traveling experience. And also, I know Japanese, where I have a M3 level of Japanese language proficiency test. So it's fulfill the requirement for studying that university, where different university in Kyoto, like Kyoto University, Kyoto City University of Art and Design, they need N2 requirement. Where at that time I don't have N2 level. So after I go to Japan and I pass this test of N2, then I think it's okay. But for people in Hong Kong, I think it's better to have N2 level for the Japanese language test. Then you can go to Kyoto or the art university in Japan. So also in this Zokei University, there has a lot of art project. Wait, I would like to show you this is the website of my school. So there's a lot of artist project, and also there for the master what program, they have different like art fair where the student in the school studying the master program, they can participate in this kind of art fair. Of course, the student need to be chosen. Yep. And wait, go, go. Okay. Okay, never mind. I return to the PowerPoint. There have a lot of student projects, and I like Nawasan's work, so I entered the Ultra Sandwich student project, where I can work in his studio. It's just like a student internship. Working in his studio for say both production and also idea development, and I have learned a lot of a lot through those internships. And because I also learned how to make the proper working space, and you can see that student here is sticking is the say crystal beads into the surface of the sculpture. It's just like the deer here. And also not only the working space making skills, and also problem solving skill and idea development. Yeah, this guy is Damien Jarrett, and he's the German contemporary dancer. And then we are actually researching for the stage expression, where this white liquid is potato flour, where it can like between the state of liquid and also the solid. It's quite interesting. Yeah. And this is the next art project I participate, where it's Kyoto, California. It's a Kickstart project of 2020 Olympic Games. And there's a lot of tons of idea sketches made by me and also the student who participate in the project here. And this tube car is the idea what I've gifted to the project, and Nawasan helped me to make it. Okay, let's talk about the admission of the university, because I want to study there and I want to become his student, Nawasan student. So I go to the website and I download the admission form there, and after that you need to write a research proposal for 2 years master program. So it's about and also a short essay about you and your art practice. So go to and after that you will receive a letter from the university, and you need to go to the admission interview in February, and after that you will receive the result. And so after that you need to find a home to stay, where I would like to go to the website. Wait, website. Okay, here is the Sumo, and it's the website to find a place. Yeah, it's all in Japanese, so I think it's basic requirement for you to live and study in Japan. You need to know enough Japanese. So there's a buy a house, and also here is borrow a house, and you can search it. And I have already chosen the Kinki area. It's actually Kansai area. So my university is in Kyoto, so I search it in this area. So my university is in Sakyoku. So click this and you will search it. It's quite interesting to search a house in Japan, because you can also know more about the area of the city. So where my university is actually near Ichijoji, just and you can click all the Ichijoji area and find your home, or Kitashiragawa, Babachun. Then you click those place and you can search this. So of course you can also choose the price of the rental house. So I choose under 40,000 yen, and you search it, and you have a lot of house choice for you to choose. And you can also see let's say the matori, the how the house is how the house look like. So you can see the enter is here, and then this is your living area or bedroom. Because what I search is a really cheap house, so you only have one room. But if you want to like one DK is actually stand for one room and dining room and kitchen. So you can choose this, or 1K is means one kitchen. So you choose about something like that, you will get a certain result. So, but of course, we don't have enough money, so we choose a little bit cheaper house. Okay. After then, I return to the PowerPoint. So after choosing your house, you need to go back to Japan, and you need to see how is the house it, and you need to sign the contract and so and so. Because the university they don't have the residential hall, so you need to find your house. So no roommate, no floor mate, only yourself. But it's really interesting experience for Hong Kongers, because we don't have my own house, right? So we after you go to other country, you have your own house. It's quite interesting. No mother and father here to help you to wash your things, but all made by yourself. No, after back from the school, no food for you. You need to cook yourself. So it's quite difficult, but it's really interesting experience. And also after that, your cooking skill will be really good. Mm. Okay, so let's move to another one. Course you study. Uh, for the course I've studied there is mixed media ceramics. And then when I was studying there, the master degree divided into different mainstream, let's say art and craft, design, architecture, art culture, heritage research, and so on. And art and craft also divide into like painting, Japanese painting, mixed media, including sculpture, ceramics, textile, photography, and so on. So for first year, I was mainly focused on taking all the theory course first. Then I will have more time for my production in second years. So you need to write a lot in Japanese. It's quite really challenging, especially for the first year, because I take all the theory course, where 1 week you need to write at least 2,400 words in Japanese. So it's really challenging, but it's really good and excellent practice for my Japanese language. So the education system is like making things what you want and research the topic what you want. So we don't have any fixed assignment. You don't need to make work that assigned by the professor, but you need to make work for the exhibition. Where in Japan, the way of evaluation is in an exhibition. So no restricted assignment where free topic is actually really difficult. But if you have developed a stream of your work and art practice, I think it's quite easy, and I think it's really free for you. And so next, it is the schedule of the academic year. So in May, with the start of the academic year in Japan is normally in April. So after that, after April, in May, you need to have the presentation on your research theme. And in that year, November, you have the midterm exhibition and for also for your evaluation, right? And the next year will be the first year report, and you need to write your next year research proposal. And next year January, you need to have prepare your graduation paper. So you need to have an interview with your mentor professor. So after then after then, in February, it will be your graduation exhibition, and this is the end of the master program. And bear in mind that in the lecture in Japan, they are all in Japanese. And they're all in Japanese, no English at all. So also you need to write a lot in Japanese, and yeah, there's not only essay, not only assignment essay, but also graduation essay. Where in the graduation essay, uh, I write about 140,000 words in Japanese. It's quite a long essay, but I think it's really good that I can record my life and also my art practice in Japan. I think it's worth it. So this is my studio space. No, the ceramic space. There's a four small kiln and a big kiln here, and you can see the arrangement of the studio is quite different from Hong Kong. Yeah, you can see the wooden plate here. You can wedge your clay. After then, you prepare your clay. You can make your pot and your pottery under on the potter's wheel. Okay, and this one is quite interesting. That um, during each semester they have a different foreign student come to our school, and some of the foreign students they want to learn Japanese ceramics, and they come to the ceramics department and ask for the professor for help. Well, I also helped my professor to teach them ceramic throwing. Is quite interesting because I'm also a foreigner in in Japan. So, uh, well, it's quite different that I was willing to teach the foreign student because I'm also a foreign student. So this is sort of the first time they throw pottery. I think it's quite nice. Okay, it's time to talk about the living experience in there. Uh, Yep, bicycle example. And also the time being alone is much more than in Hong Kong. So where if you are alone in Hong Kong, so no, alone in Japan, you will think more and more about yourself and also your work. Yeah, think more. It's a really great experience where in Japan you one day maybe you can meet say 20 people, where in Hong Kong you may probably meet 100 people or more in one day. So the information going into yourself is different. So you have more time to spend in yourself. And also the experience that exhibition after exhibition, non-stop. You need to make and think and make and make and make non-stop and make it so you really focus on how you focus on your art practice. And also it's quite interesting that in the winter the daylight is not much in Hong Kong, so it's just like your energy is drained by the environment. Where after I back to Hong Kong, where for say vacation or something, you can I think you can regain some energy from the city because the city is moving so fast and so many information, and I feel quite good after back to Hong Kong. It's quite interesting that where Hong Kong people they love to go to say Japan and Kyoto, and they have enjoyed the small slow life, and they can gain energy from the environment. It's quite a twist. And also because the sky in Kyoto is quite large, quite huge. So the cycle, you can see the moon and the cycle of moon and sun, and you can also see the four season change, where the cycling event is just like wheel throwing. It's just turning, turning, and turning. So, and also you can the place where you live, because in Japan, I have moved my home for 2 times. So different place when you open your eyes after each night is maybe different. Also, because I love to travel in Japan when I was studying there. So I love to go to different places for traveling. So it, the place, the feeling of play is quite interesting. And also because they have a time limit where after say after you graduate from the school, you may need to go back to Hong Kong, or after you have a job in Japan, but you still need to renew your job, renew your visa, and so on. They actually always have the time limits there. So when will be the end of the stay in this place? So yeah, thing will change, So it will have some helpless feeling, 無常感, where this feeling of that thing will change is like a Asian Japanese, a traditional Japanese aesthetics in Kyoto. So I think in this place, I can feel a lot this feeling in the state. So now I would love to talk about the living expense. So you can search for the house. So you can see the price, say 29,000 yen to 40,000 yen for rent, but it's really small one. And yeah, suppose for the rent is like this. Suppose you each day you eat the sukiya cheese beef don. Of course, you will die, but let's say this is a budget, right? So 500 yen for free time, and just like 1,500, and plus times 30 days is around uh, 45,000 yen. And if you cook, it will become maybe say 30,000 yen. You can reduce the cost, and other expenses, say traveling or washing machine and so on is 3,000. And also you need to buy the clay and the material is say 6,000 yen. Okay, so let's talk about the requirement in the Japanese N2. Yep. In my university, N3 is basic requirement, but I think N3 is really not enough to understand those super native Japanese in the lesson. The professor won't use simple Japanese, as there is a lot of special term in art, especially for the Japanese garden theory. The terms of place, temple, and also material, say the stone material or say the sand material is really difficult for the people only have N3 level. So even for this, the Japanese garden or temple or architecture, and even N2 is not enough. So other requirement is just like normal art university. And So how about stay after stay behind after graduation? Of course, yes, you can stay behind by applying working visa, but you need to attend the career talks and obtain some required form for the application of the visa. Is quite strange, and also no one will remind you about to attend the career talks. So you need to check the deadline, all the due days, all the times by yourself. Mm. So it's quite difficult, and this is the culture shock I have in Hong Kong. Uh, Everything will remind you near the deadline, and you will always receive the information from your friends, from the emails. But in Japan, no reminders, and they will tell you after the deadline. So you need to be very careful about that. Mm. Okay, and also staying behind after the graduation is really highly recommended. And you will find how hard when you live in Japan after graduation. But in reward, you will have a really even better and stronger connection with local Japanese. So try and after also try your best to apply to the art competitions and also create a festival. You will know more friends and more creator and have more different exhibition opportunity. So just like for me, after participate in the Osaka Creator Festival, and I have the exhibition opportunity to Biraco Biennale. And after the Biennale, no, for preparing for the Biennale, I joined the residency program in Shigaraki, where working in Japan and make your artwork in your leisure time is really hard. No more work-life balance. It's only work unbalance. So you need to be both in physical and mentally tough. Studio will be your home, and for ceramic, because after make your things, you need to fire it into kiln. So basically, I will fire my things in the university, but also I need to give. I need to have the what? Have uh, my professor let me go to the university to fire. If otherwise, you cannot fire your things after the graduation. So also, I have booked the queue in the government facility, but the queue schedule in the government facility is really tight, where it not is not always have the chance to fire it. So you need to bear in mind that. So after work, say 7 p.m., I was really tired and I need to go back to home, and I need to hand carry the fragile bone dry work to the queue. And at that time, I don't have enough knowledge of the packing work in the paper box for transporting. I just hand carry them. So some of the work even cracked during transporting to the queue, and where each work I need 2 or 3 days to finish it. So it'd be so stupid for me. So I think that studio as your home is not working. So the balance between art practice and life will be collapsed. So in this by this experience, I think that studio and living space should be separated. So because there's no way for me to continue work and art practice for art work showing in a Biennale. So I quit my job and I go to the residency program in Shigaraki. Yeah, it is in Shigaraki. In Shigaraki because okay, I talk about that later. So Shigaraki is like a place where you can work very focus, pays so a lot of attention to work on your work. It's also really a good place for ceramic artists to work and test. It provides an excellent and flexible environment. And also the residential experience have been really good. And also you can meet a lot of professional ceramic artists and also ceramic master, say the master in Korean. Yeah. And also the most is more important reason that you will meet a lot of good artists throughout the world. You can learn the production rhythm, the style, concept, and story. You can learn all these things from those artists by observation and also compensation. Depends on the time period. But yeah, you need to bear in mind that different time period and also different personality of artists will create a different atmosphere. Maybe if if the artist is sociable, you can have the party each Friday night, and you can make a potluck dinner, and you cook your own dishes and share with other artists. If the artist is a little bit introvert, you can more focus on your artwork. It's a different style and different experience. Yeah. It's just like in my second home when I go to Kansai, and I went to Shigaraki and visit my friend, and also visit the exhibition in the museum. There's a potluck dinner. There's Japanese artists who are taking photo, and the Korean artists will have a really good connection through the party, and also watching the work, watching how they create the work. But I feel very sad that because my iPhone was dropped into the toilet after my residency, so I don't have my photo. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah. It's quite interesting that when you go to Japan, your mindset will be changed from Cantonese to Japanese. Yeah, especially after the graduation. So because when you're working, you need to use a lot of keigo, the Japanese honorific. Yeah, it's really a difficult task because in Cantonese we don't have such a keigo and something. Wait. Okay. Tutorial. Annual tutorial. Okay. I saw the chat and the question. Annual tutorial is just like it's just like the master program in AVA. Yeah. Say 20. $200,000 in Hong Kong dollars. Yes. And the financial support you got from on, yes, you can have a lot of financial support, and also you have scholarship there in Japan, and also from in the organization. But I didn't have I didn't apply the the scholarship in there. Yeah, they they have a lot of scholarship for the foreign student in Japan. Yes, but I think it's a little bit difficult because you need to compete with so many people around Japan. Okay, okay, let's continue. I think the personality will shift a little bit. Well, in Hong Kong, maybe I'm a little bit introvert, but when I go to Japan, and the environment is changed, so where is the place is totally new to me. So I really need to become more extrovert. You need to speak for survival, and where after the no the how can I say, after the talk of the professor, and you don't have maybe you have some question about that, but you didn't ask for help, and so you need to ask for your colleagues, your student for help. So say making installation where for me is quite a weakness of that. So I'm not really familiar with that. So also I need to ask to the technician for help. Yeah. Okay, I've get another message. Yes, yes, the Japanese student service, there's a lot of resources there. When there's yeah, this I have tell you guys before, when there's any foreign student come to school, because I am a foreign student, so I also become very welcoming, because I also feel the same way. It's quite hard and difficult. Even even the foreign student, they didn't know Japanese, so I will become a bridge between the foreign student and also Japan. Okay, that is my work, and so and so. So yeah, in the it is in July for the midterm exhibition. Well, because I need to set up my installation, my friend helped me a lot to for the setup. It's a really interesting one. I use water installation, and I make it by wood, make the waterproof by wood, and after then I stick the FRP inside it, which is a waterproof material. But however, the water leaks through the wooden pool, and it was just like a mess. Yeah. And yeah, the water go inside is like forming a lens, and it's just like a reflection, where it, where my process of making for making ceramic, I love to drill a lot of hole inside the surface, and where the holes layer land, yeah, reflecting. It's just like myself is reflecting inside the ceramic I made. So after the exhibition, I have the opportunity to show my work into the theater in the university. So because this is a big 3D installation, I make I use the 3D software for the modeling. Okay, I need to be a little bit fast. So this is my teacher, uh, my teacher for ceramics, and this is demo his demo for throwing a sphere, and I went to his home. His name is Yaki Akira, where his father is Yaki Kazuo, where Yaki Kazuo is Bamugetsu, is a really important artist in modern ceramics. So I went. I feel very honored to visit his studio. Hmm. And eat. After packing the cure, then eat. Yeah. Okay. This is the finished one. Finished process of the black ceramics. Where black ceramic is really famous for Yaki Kazuo. Yaki Kazuo works. So I can use his own cue. I feel very honored. So this is I try different material. This is I tried resin with fluorescent powder. So it absorbs sunlight, and when you put inside a dark room, it will grow in. So because my professor Nawako, he also used a lot of resin. So by the hmm? What? Oh, okay. So after that, I get some inspiration from him, and I try to try to try to merge two style of material. Okay. So this is the final work, the 3D modeling of the final work, graduation work. Okay, because I need to use the LED, tape LED, but I really lack of knowledge about this. So I even go to Tokyo where cannot find any shop in Kansai. So I go to Kyoto for the LED shops. And everything was, the setting was quite nice, interesting. And I am very honored to have the excellent award after that. After my graduation, I participated in the Spiral Independent Curator Festival. Yeah, my friend in Hong Kong and also Japan helped me to set it up. Yeah, is the word for another exhibition. Yeah, in the joint school ceramic exhibition, we joined Taiwan, China, Japan, and Korea for the master degree program. And he did is the the field trip for the Biwako Biennale is held in the traditional old house where when I go there is in February. It's snowing everywhere. Yeah, and it is the first solo exhibition in Tokyo. But I think it's not really that good because I don't have I can't have a good environment and a good time for preparing my exhibition is not really that good, I think. Yeah. But now I went to the Shigaraki and make my next artwork for the Biwako Biennale. And it's my me and my friends and also Bino. He the alumni in AVA. He also visit to Kyoto where I need to go to Omi Hachiman for the setup or something. So I went there. It's quite nice. And I make a big work there in the Shigaraki. So it's packing the queue like this. It's just like architecture inside a queue. Yeah, because I feel very frightened about where the material the clay will collapse inside the kiln where during the firing. So I put a lot of supporting material yeah, surrounding my things. Yeah, my and one technician see how I pack the kiln. They think that oh, this is so good. So this is the I reserved the largest kiln in Shigaraki. So I packed the things there, and after then the technician help me to push the thing inside the kiln for firing. So where the working time in Shigaraki, I work in the night because when I drilling the holes is very noisy. I don't want to affect other artists, so I made it in the night. And also the working time is so long. It's just like for 7 hours non-stop. So you can see the sunset, and after the whole night, you can see the sunrise. So the feeling of the shifting of moon and sun, day and night were very affecting me a lot. And I also participated for the exhibition, and I have get into the exhibition. It's so good. The sunrise when I drive a van packing with my work and I drive to the Omi Hachiman from Shigaraki. It's a really beautiful scenery there. Yeah, the work I packed there. She is also a Hong Kong artist. When I met in Shigaraki, is Sita, and I think she's now in Canada now. So this is the exhibition setting up is just like a mess. Yeah, making the things. Okay, I think I've running out of time. So okay, let's talk about the further study in Japan. If you want to study more in ceramics, I recommend you to study in Ishoken or say Ishoken or also the wait. the Kasama Toge Dagakko, the College of Ceramic Art, because it's much more focused on the ceramic skill. But of course, for my master program, it's more focused on the say contemporary art thinking. Thinking development. So it's different. It's two different way. Yeah, for the Isoken is much more focused on the ceramic art, but not the modern art. Okay, so you can have a more in-depth skills advance in inside the training. Also, you can try to apply the Utatsuyama Kogekobo, the craft center there. And of course, not only for the further study, you can also, well, not only in Hong Kong or Japan, you can also participate in different ceramic competition, say like Arida Kusai Toge or Mino Ceramic Festival, or say Korean International Ceramic Biennale, and so on and so on. So that is yeah, this the my presentation. Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Gaho.
Okay.
Yeah, just have to echo. Thank you, Gaho. I think that overall you give quite a lot of the data for studying in your school. So we would like to invite Michael to talk over all the studying in Japan, and because he's a teacher there at this moment, he will become our new college in the new semester. So thank you for you. We'll pass to Michael. Michael, you take your time. So if anyone to ask the questions, can just in the chat room you place your questions. Yeah, thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. That was great. I'm sure.
Oh, thank you so much.
So my experience was very different to Kaho's. I've always tried to do exchange programs to different countries for as long as I've been a student. My background was in biochemistry, biomedicine, and I had a chance to do a one-year research study in Germany. And while I was in Germany, they opened the new art museum. And that really changed my whole life. And I ended up graduating in biochemistry and then studying art after that. And so when I went up to Scotland, in England, in the UK to study art, and did another exchange in Sweden, in Stockholm. And every time it's very similar to what Kaho was saying about the culture shock and the different ways of doing things, how different colors and symbols mean different things in different countries. And it's very healthy to see the different ways of making art. And so after I graduated from the Scottish University, I went to the Royal College of Art in London for 2 years for my master's. And they have an exchange program to Kyoto City University of Art, which is the oldest art school in Japan. And it's very famous for its kind of Nihonga, the Japanese painting style. And so I was there for one term, just 3 months, and met a young Korean artist who's now my wife. So I graduated in London and went back to Kyoto. And I applied for something called the Mombu Scholarship. It's the MEXT. I'll maybe put the link for people who are interested. There's an age limit for this scholarship between 17 and 35. I first applied when I was 33 and I was unsuccessful. You have to apply in the Embassy of Japan in Hong Kong or in your home country. And it's very competitive and it pays for your flight, your tuition fees and living cost. Let me just put that information in there. So that's a good idea if maybe you already have a master's and you're looking to do research in Japan. And again, you have to make a proposal. There's no language requirements. So I actually arrived in Japan knowing very, very basic Japanese. But part of the scholarship is they pay for you to take intensive Japanese classes at Kyoto University before you start to study. Another requirement of the scholarship is that you need to have a connection with a teacher at the university where you want to study. So I was quite lucky. I'd already done the exchange program and met many of the teachers there and contacted them to ask permission. They would send a letter of recommendation to the Japanese embassy. So after my research there, I decided to join the PhD course at Kyoto City University of Art. There's a big difference in Japan between types of universities. Some are public universities, so city-owned, which is Kyoto City University of Art, and some are private. I think Kaho, the university you went to, is Zoke, right?
Yes.
The private-run university. So the facilities are fantastic. It's much more expensive, and they attract better staff and international artists. Kyoto City University of Art is kind of very focused on traditional techniques. And so one of the problems I had when I proposed my PhD was that the subject was nothing to do with Japan or Japanese art. And they wanted to know why I wanted to do that PhD in Kyoto. So my specialist subject is diagrams, and the way that diagrams are a kind of image that scientists use and artists use, and how they're used in the two different subjects. So that's something to bear in mind, that when you make your project proposal, it is helpful to have a good connection to Japanese aesthetics or traditional crafts or painting. But it is possible, if you have a strong proposal, to do something different. So yeah, the focus of, just a moment. Yeah, so like Kaho was saying, one of the important things if you're thinking about studying in Japan is you really need to be independent. You're not given so many projects, you have a lot of time for yourself. It's a good chance to practice your organization. I found it very helpful when I was an exchange student there to have a routine. So I bought some beautiful sketchbooks with Japanese paper and did a drawing every day. And I kept a photo journal. Another idea might be to start a blog, and definitely keep a diary just to see how the different cultures influencing you, and somewhere to put the thoughts and stresses of living in a foreign country and trying to work in a foreign language and use different techniques for the first time. One thing that will help you coming from Hong Kong is your ability to speak English. There's lots of opportunities to teach English, either to art students or private students. And that can really help support your living costs in Japan. Another thing is thinking in terms of what you can do working anywhere. I did a lot of website design for different companies, and that was a good way to make income. And also proofreading. I did a lot of checking of academic papers or English texts, and I could work anywhere at any time. So I think, yeah, language and using your artistic abilities, your sense of a good design layout on a homepage, something like that. So these are things you can arm yourself with before you make that big leap to go and live in Japan. So just to add to what Kaho said about the visas, the student visa is normally 1 year that you have to renew. And it's very tiresome. The university does some of the paperwork, but you have to go to the office, stand in line and fill out the documents. You normally make 1 or 2 mistakes and you have to reapply. So I did that for many years until I graduated. Another type of visa you might want to think about if you're going to study a traditional craft or technique, something like flower arranging, sometimes ceramics, or a traditional martial art with a master, is you can have this special kind of traditional arts visa, which lasts for about a year. And that's something a lot of foreign people apply for. And then finally, I just got my artist visa, and they range between 1 and 5 years. So you have to have quite a long list of exhibitions, show that you're making some kind of income. Having a connection with a gallery helps. So I work with a gallery in Kyoto, and they wrote a letter of recommendation, what they hoped my income would be for the next year, and that helped a lot. in terms of staying on in Japan after you graduate. And yeah, really, to be an artist in Japan, you kind of have to go to art school. They're the kind of gatekeepers to the art world in Japan. It's a lot of Japanese society is all about connections and introductions. I'm sure Kaho knows that. And your teacher takes a lot of responsibility for who they introduce you to. And with the support of a teacher, you can go on to do great things and meet important people. So it is important to go to art school and try and have a good relationship with your teacher. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that, Kaho. And I've got a list of other useful language training websites and more information about lists of universities in Japan, how you can apply. And again, like Kaho was saying, there's a lot of competitions in Japan, and the arts are really well supported. Kyoto is growing its arts community. There's 5 major art universities in Kyoto, and they're losing the students when they graduate. They move to Osaka or Tokyo or abroad to try, places where they can sell work, where there's an art market. The art market in Kyoto is much more traditional. It's quite difficult to make a living as an artist here if you're a contemporary artist. So to try and keep the art students in Kyoto, the city has moved, or the government's moved its Ministry for Culture from Tokyo to Kyoto, and they built a whole new building for that. And so to try and revitalize the arts community in Kyoto. They've just opened a huge new contemporary and modern art museum, the Kyocera Museum of Modern Art, with limited access at the moment due to COVID. And I was a member after graduating of something called HAPS, which is Higashiyama Artist Placement Service. And they're an independent group who find old disused buildings in Kyoto and renovate them with support from the city. So that artists, poets, writers, musicians can live in these old townhouses, make them into a studio. I think it's normally a 1 to 3 year contract, but that's very helpful. So there's lots of energy in Kyoto. I think especially next year should be very exciting time to be in Kyoto as an artist, especially young graduates, in terms of support and funding. So let me I'll put some links into the.
Thank you. This where's Michael.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so maybe if anyone has any questions.
I have one question for quickly that we would suggest that our students after graduate, they spend like 1 year working holiday in Japan. If there's any chance for them to do the job at the same time to study Japanese before enter the school.
It's a good way to get a visa actually, is to enroll in a Japanese language school. That's the school can then sign your papers and you can apply for a 1 year residency as a Japanese language student. And there's some very cheap options. I think the YMCA in Japan have classes that are almost free. And there's a good online pairing site now. I'd have to look it up, but it pairs people who want to speak Japanese with people who want to speak English or Korean or a foreign language. And that's another free kind of one-on-one lesson. And it's not a professional level language course, but it's a very good way to study Japanese cheaply. But in terms of making money while you're here, Kaho, what would you recommend? What would the other students that you were around doing as a working holiday in Kyoto?
As a hard working, for me, other than working holiday, I think say applying in a artist in residence may be much more better. I don't know, because well, of course, when you apply the working holiday in Japan, you can even more know more about the city, say Kyoto, because the working style is really different. For the Before the COVID, I miss some people. I miss some Hong Kong people. They are also working what in Shijo Kawaramachi, and for the tourism shops. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think for the customer service, I think they can have more experience for the uh, communication skill. Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
But for art, I think a little bit difficult. Maybe I don't know. I,
Mm. Okay.
maybe you can. Maybe you can also try to apply the student internship in Sandwich. I don't know, in my professor's studio, because he always he welcome different foreigner to go to his studio and work. Maybe it's also a choice.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question. I would like to know if the student want to study in Japan, so it is better they study this year or next year because of the environment, the COVID, and everything. I don't know. What is your view? Yeah, Michael and Carol.
I'd take the time this year to study Japanese and maybe
Ah,
think about
yes.
next year. I think it's not going to change very quick. And Japan's recently relaxed its laws about who can come into the country. But I think still as a tourist, it would be very difficult, maybe impossible at the moment.
Yes. Well, I have actually this year I can go to Shigaraki for the artist in residence program in start from June to August, but because of COVID, I can't go there. So
Oh.
yeah, so I think maybe the next year maybe better. I don't know, because also the academic year is start from April, so it is of course will be start in next year.
Yeah.
So if you want to have the admission to go to study in Japan, so you need to write the admission proposal, right? So the deadline of the proposal is in December or November. Mm.
Mhm. We have a Japanese class in Hong Kong BU for 3. I mean, you are a student. Why not you join this immediately? Save your time. You can prepare for that, like that. Yeah. Just suggestions.
Japan actually started a very interesting project online. I think if you Google something like Studio Swap Japan, it's probably not working at the moment, but the idea was to have artists in Japan, especially around Kansai, with a studio, younger artists who wanted to live in a foreign country. And you swap not only studios, but almost like social circles. You'd go to live in that person's apartment and use their studio. Sometimes it was just one thing. And their friends would introduce you to, the kind of local art scene in that area. Or I thought that was just a brilliant, it's kind of like couch surfing, but for artists. And the time varies and the kind of requirements vary. Some of the female artists only want to swap with other female artists. But it's a very good system to get that experience and have your rent paid for, your utilities, and have a studio. And be immediately connected to a network of other artists when you are.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sonia. I have a question to Kaho.
Yeah.
You have passed your Japanese entry test before you enter the
Oh, I passed my every test in Form 7. Yeah. Before I before I enter the ABA. Yeah.
Wow, my God. Japanese
No, no, No. N3 is so easy. It means nothing. N3 is really mean nothing.
Really? I got a C when I started. All the time, 3 times got C.
Yeah, N3 means nothing.
Because I'm now also staying in Fukuoka, and I also have, I only have N4 Japanese level. So I just wonder if you can, enter the university again. Like, do you suggest people to enter the school before they get the N2, at least N2 Japanese level, or just you think, oh, it's fine to give a try even you have like lower than N2 level?
Yes, basically N2. Yeah, if or N3, because if you only have M4, you can't listen. You won't understand the professor what professor has said. Yeah, because they use all in Japanese. Yeah. Yeah, because you need to have the basic you need to have the basic conversation skill before you go to the university. Yeah, they they won't treat you they won't treat you well if you don't have enough Japanese skill. Yes, indeed.
And also, can you, Kaho and Michael, can you describe a little bit more about the Japan, the whole Japan arts ecology? Because both of you are from Kyoto school, but now I'm staying in Fukuoka, so I feel like it's a little bit different here. So, what do you think of other prefecture, like a Japan art ecology?
Different prefecture.
Sorry, can I just check? By art ecology, you mean like financially or culturally, or how active
Yeah,
different
like
places are?
culturally, I guess. Culturally.
I think it's depends on the material you choose. I don't know. For ceramics, I think it's better for me to choose Kansai because Kansai has more good background on ceramic art and not living pottery. But also living pottery in Kansai is wrong. But what I've said in the previous presentation also in Tajimi, where near Nagoya, they have also a good ceramics school there, and also in Kasama, where in Kanto area, the Kanto region, it's also have a really good ceramic facility. It's difficult to compare actually, but where Kansai is more traditional and say maybe the ceramic work is more colorful, where in the Kanto area, say Kyoto, Tokyo, is more the taste is more like contemporary or more contemporary art. I don't know. Of course, Kyoto have also a lot of contemporary art there, so it's quite a little bit difficult to compare. Yeah, but it have a different characteristic in each prefecture in Japan, I think. How about Michael? What you how
It
you
really
feel?
depends what you want. I mean, when I first came here, I was looking for what you described it really well, like some slow time to self-reflect and make as much work as possible in the sketchbooks, lots of ideas. So it's really nice there's lots of possibilities to change your artistic practice and really develop in Japan. I wouldn't say Tokyo is very good for that. That's much more international, active, maybe much more like Hong Kong. And then later, as I became a professional artist, I was wanting to develop my career and realized that Kyoto wasn't the best place to do that. And you kind of outgrow the city in many ways. A lot of the big Tokyo galleries were opening spaces in Kyoto just to test the market, and all of them closed within a year. So it's kind of, there isn't really much of a market outside of Tokyo in terms of if you're wanting to develop your career, get a gallery, build up a portfolio of exhibitions, and actually make a living making art. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to come to Hong Kong for those reasons. But yeah, I think Kaho's right. Kansai is a very slow-paced, self-reflective kind of atmosphere. There's lots of Buddhist retreats you can go on, and there's lots of kind of ancient pilgrimage walks through the mountains to visit these ancient temples. So it's a different speed to a bigger city like Osaka or even to Tokyo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? We're running out of time, so maybe you can, send the questions to us, to Kaho directly, so we can, to reply to questions. So thank you very much for two speakers, and then I learned a lot, and I'm Japanese friends too. Okay, so I would tell you that the coming round, the dialogue talk is about further studying in Korea. And we have an alumni, Silas Paul. He's teaching in Korea at the moment. And also our colleague, Hazen, she will provide some perspective how to survive and also how to study in Korea. Okay, I can't wait that. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, bye.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Michael.